Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Stevens. If you're a senior and looking to stay active, healthy, and full of energy, you're in the right place. Please make sure to subscribe and like the video. It is very important for me. Now, let's talk about your health. You might not realize it, but there is a silent clock ticking inside your body, and ignoring it could cost you years of your life. Most people walk around believing that if they simply eat what they are told is healthy, they will live forever. But for people over the age of 60, that belief can actually be fatal. If you do not change the way you look at your plate right now, you might be unknowingly poisoning your own system every single day. The scary truth is that the organs responsible for cleaning your blood are getting tired, and if you keep forcing them to work overtime, they will eventually just give up. And by the time you notice the symptoms, it is often too late to reverse the damage. So what are we actually talking about here? We are not talking about fast food, sugar, or alcohol, which you already know are bad for you. We are talking about vegetables. Yes, specific vegetables that you have been told your whole life are superfoods, but which actually turn into dangerous burdens for your body once you cross that 60-year mark. Today, I am going to walk you through exactly which healthy foods are secretly clogging your kidneys, causing your blood pressure to spike, and making you feel constantly exhausted. Please stay with me until the very end of this video, because after we discuss the dangers, I am going to reveal the 3 specific vegetables that act like medicine and can actually help repair your system. To understand why this happens, you have to visualize your kidneys not as these abstract organs, but as a kitchen appliance. Imagine you have a water filter attached to your tap. When that filter is brand new, you can pour dirty, muddy water through it, and it comes out crystal clear and sparkling. But now imagine that filter has been working non-stop for 60 years. It is a bit worn out. The mesh is getting old. If you keep pouring heavy sand and thick mud into it, what happens? It gets clogged. It struggles. The water pressure builds up, and eventually the filter breaks. That is exactly what is happening inside you. As you age, your kidneys actually try to work harder, but they filter your blood slower. When you eat the wrong vegetables, you are essentially pouring sand into that old vintage filter. Let's start with the first culprit, which is heartbreaking because it is so delicious: beets. We love beets for their color and their earthy taste, and we've always been told they are great for blood. But after 60, beets can become a source of serious pain. The problem is something called oxalates. Now that sounds like a chemistry term, but think of oxalates as tiny, invisible shards of glass. When you eat beets, these oxalates travel to your kidneys. If your digestion is slow, these oxalates meet up with calcium and bind together. They form crystals. These aren't pretty crystals. They are sharp stones that lodge in your kidney tissue. It causes hidden damage that you might not feel until you are suddenly in agony with a kidney stone. Does this mean you can never eat a beet again? Not necessarily. If you boil them and throw away the water, you wash away a lot of those oxalates. A clever trick is to eat them with some cheese or yogurt. The calcium in the dairy acts like a shield, grabbing the oxalates in your stomach before they can ever reach your kidneys. Next on our list is the king of salad greens, spinach. This one is shocking because Popeye told us it would make us strong. But for an older body, spinach is a heavy load to carry. Just one single cup of cooked spinach contains over 750 milligrams of those dangerous oxalates we just talked about. That is a massive amount. It is like dumping a bucket of sand into your delicate filter. But it gets worse. These oxalates are greedy. They steal nutrients. They lock on to calcium, magnesium, and iron in your digestive tract and block your body from absorbing them. So you might be eating spinach to get iron, but the spinach itself is preventing you from using that iron. It is a cruel irony. If you love spinach, you have to treat it properly. You must boil it for at least a minute or 2, and, this is crucial, throw that green water down the sink. That water is full of toxins. Or better yet, switch to kale or romaine lettuce, which are much friendlier to your system. Now, before we move on to the vegetable that acts as a silent heart stopper, I want to take a brief second to ask you something. We're diving deep into health truths that often get ignored. If you want to keep learning how to protect your body and navigate these changes with confidence, please click that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It helps us find more people who need to hear this message, and honestly, it supports our channel more than you know. Thank you for being part of our community. All right, let's get back to the list. The third vegetable is the sweet potato. It has been marketed as the healthier cousin of the white potato, right? But it hides a secret threat called potassium. Now, potassium is good in small amounts, but when your kidneys are older, they struggle to filter excess potassium out of your blood. This condition has a scary name, hyperkalemia, but the symptoms are even scarier. It starts with muscle weakness. You feel heavy. Then it affects the heart rhythm. Too much potassium can literally cause your heart to stop beating properly. One single sweet potato can have over 500 milligrams of potassium. That's a heavy hit for an aging filter. You don't have to ban them entirely, but stop baking them. Baking concentrates the potassium. Boil them instead, and keep your portions small, maybe just half a cup. Or better yet, swap them for radishes or turnips, which give you that nice crunch without the heart risk. Then we have tomatoes. This is a tough one because tomatoes are in everything: pizza, pasta, salads, soups. The danger with tomatoes after 60 is double-sided. They have the oxalates and they have the potassium. But the real danger lies in the processed stuff. Tomato paste, ketchup, and canned sauces are like concentrated bombs for your kidneys. When you eat these concentrated tomato products constantly, you might notice your lower back starts to ache or your blood pressure creeps up. That's your kidneys crying out for help. If you're going to eat tomatoes, eat them fresh, and like the beets, pair them with a little cheese to neutralize the acids. But honestly, if you can replace that tomato sauce with a sauce made from roasted red peppers or zucchini, your back will thank you. And finally, we have to talk about the most popular vegetable in the world, the regular white potato. This is the heavyweight champion of potassium. One baked potato contains more than 900 milligrams of potassium. That's double what you get in a banana. Can you imagine eating 2 bananas in one sitting and then adding salt and fat on top? Because that's what a baked potato is to your kidneys. When you combine that potassium with the salt we usually put on potatoes, you're creating a perfect storm for high blood pressure and vascular stress. It puts critical pressure on your vessels. But there's a way to hack this. If you peel the potatoes, cut them up, and soak them in water for a few hours before you cook them, you can leach out about half of that potassium. It is like doing laundry for your vegetables. But if you want to be totally safe, mashed cauliflower is a brilliant alternative that tastes almost the same but cleans your system instead of clogging it. So, we have talked about the villains, the foods that clog the filter. But remember I promised you the heroes? The vegetables that act like pure, clean water flushing through your system? There are 3 of them, and you should be eating them every week. First, we have cauliflower. It is not just a potato substitute, it is a medicine. It contains a compound called sulforaphane. Think of sulforaphane as a scrub brush. It actively helps your kidneys and liver detoxify the blood. It contains very little potassium and almost no oxalates, so it passes through your filter effortlessly while helping to clean the mesh. Second is cabbage. Good old-fashioned cabbage. It is packed with vitamin K and antioxidants that specifically support the health of your blood vessels. Remember, your kidneys are basically big knots of blood vessels. If your vessels are healthy, your kidneys are healthy. Cabbage is like a shield that protects those delicate tubes from damage. And the third hero is the cucumber, but specifically peeled cucumber. Cucumbers are mostly water, but it is structured water that is easy for your body to use. Eating cucumbers is like running a rinse cycle through your washing machine. It flushes out the waste, helps remove uric acid, and hydrates your kidneys without adding any heavy mineral load. So, think of your body like that kitchen filter. You have a choice every time you eat. You can pour sand and mud into it by eating piles of spinach and baked potatoes, forcing it to choke and fail. Or you can pour clean, sparkling water through it by choosing cabbage, cauliflower, and cucumbers, allowing it to last for many, many more years. The choice is yours, but now you have the knowledge to make the right one. And, as promised, here's a fascinating fact to leave you with. You might think your kidneys are just passive filters, but they are actually incredibly intelligent. They sense the oxygen levels in your body. If they realize you aren't getting enough oxygen, your kidneys release a hormone called erythropoietin that tells your bone marrow to produce more red blood cells. So, your kidneys aren't just cleaning your trash, they are literally helping you breathe. That is why protecting them is worth every single effort. Thanks for watching, and here's to your health.